Welcome to another Field of Glory 2 battle. This is what I have been calling the Tiny Tourney, but apparently it's the Little Wars Tourney. I guess Tiny Tourney just sounded good to me. So it's 600 points on small battlefields. I have Indians, Hindu North. In this match I'm facing Carvan, who's also organizing the tournament, Germanic Horse Tribes, and Dacian Carpi allies. Let's see what that's all about. Strong Lightfoot contingent if he wants it. Good loose order melee infantry, which is bad for me because I normally would hide my archers in loose order ground, rough ground, forests, and the like. For cavalry, noble lancers. So 48 points just because they're protected instead of the armored, 64 points, and some other miscellaneous cavalry options. So we're going to have to fear the skirmishers and what they can do to the elephants, and we're going to have to fear the warbands and what they can do to the archers. So this is a matchup where I might actually bring skirmishers of my own, just to screen the army. We'll also bring Indian close fighters to shove into the forest. In fact, I might bring a fairly minimal contingent of archers. I will max my elephants. They can crush the warbands handily in the open. And 138 points left. What do I want? Do I want more cavalry? Lancers could be good. Cheap zone of control locks. Probably want more close fighters for this forest and such. I think I'll want some superior lancers of my own to fight his cavalry. 10 points? Are we being excessively wasteful? 10 points is a lot more when you have half as many points to work with. I could drop these forest tribesmen and get another unit of massed archers or close order fighters. Neither of which particularly appeals to me. No, I think I'll accept it as is. It's our commander-in-chief there, and this is a sub-general. Just want to make sure my elephants are all generaled up. So, we'll try to have close fighters hiding in the trees here, elephants and archers and lancers in the open, flank protected by close fighters in the wood. Next turn. Okay. Carvan, man, this is kind of turning into a pattern here. He's hiding in the other match, too. I mean, he's only hiding because he feels overmatched in the open, which I understand, but I don't like this sort of hunting around, even if I do understand it. Next turn. So I guess everyone's in here. Maybe a few people here and here, but mostly in here. Hard to say. Need to get scouts forward without getting them killed. Yeah, I don't really like this. I suppose I could counter by just sitting here and then we would draw. It's one possibility. Next turn. Let's keep climbing this hill and see if we can see anything. Which we cannot. This might draw out. It's going to take a long time just to march across the map and figure out where they are. Next turn. There's something. Happy to see something. So we'll slowly form up here-ish, and then I guess start to push in like idiots, even though it's not really a good idea. At the very least, I want to get a line of sight down this track. But really, I need to see exactly what he has. It's going to be a slow process, and I don't know if 19 turns is going to be enough to see what's in there and really fight. Especially if there's a bunch more stuff hiding in here, it's hard to say. Next turn. Alright, what's in here? Nothing. Inch forward. Next turn we can get line of sight down this track, and if there's nothing there, we'll start shuffling people into position for combat here. Next turn. More mysterious trundling. Okay, what do we see? Nothing. I might accept the draw here. He can get a pretty huge number of skirmishers, but also I hear cavalry, and my squishy archers and Indian close fighters also can't fight war bands if they burst out of here. So I'm probably just going to post up on this hill while he posts up in his forest, and sometimes that's the way these things go. Next turn. The Swarm of Lights. Need to be prepared for some disruptions here. Okay, I guess that's what we do for now. Next turn. Okay. Shuffle our own lights over. Face the light javelin horse. And I still don't really want to go in here and lose my light javelins, but I guess I need to find out what he has eventually. It's just annoying because I know the moment I move these forward, they're dead. Maybe that's not worth it. I don't think it is. Next turn. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting. It's good for now. Next turn. Okay. We're gonna pretend that that was a skill thing there. The question is, do I want to send my mediums in here, or will the warbands burst out when I do so? I don't know, let's just do it. Nothing bad ever happened after that phrase was uttered, right? Okay. It's good for now. We'll keep holding our ground and get our close fighters in here to see who else is lurking in the wood. Next turn. See if anything bad happens here. This is very annoying, and now I wish I had brought a single unit of light horse so that I wouldn't be vulnerable to being charged in the rear. Interesting. Let's see if we can break this unit. Good. And with that, push our close fighters into the wood. Let's see what we can see. Nothing yet. cause some disruptions if we can, and just to see off these light troops. What's actually nice about this situation, although the light javelin horse will have a minimum plus 50 POA charging us in the rear, if they try to hit our archers, they will be moderately disordered. Makes up for it somewhat. Okay, so next turn we'll try to push into this built-up area and see what else we can see. The light javelin man can move, 1, 2, 3 tiles here and reveal these forest tiles. And at that point, we'll have line of sight on everything except these 2 tiles. In the meantime, we'll just have to accept the risk of disrupting from a rear charge, which is annoying, but so it goes. Next turn. Oh, how unfortunate. Yeah, so the elephants are having a deadening effect on that rear attack. Let's see if we can't catch these. Good. I wonder if this is even worth using ammo on, or if I should just charge in. Alright. Well, with that, we'll probably need to shuffle our elephants forward a bit. I want to get these light javelin horse to piss off. Ah, so something is here. Question is, what is it? Loose order warband. That means we were right not to advance deeper into here with a larger number of men. Unfortunately, that leaves us a bit of a dilemma here. We could fall back out of the forest, or we could just charge. Still might get attacked. Can't resist, even if it costs us Indian Lancers. It's difficult to resist an easy win like that. So we're a bit scattered, but so is he. Next turn. Yep, so we'll lose that unit. That's what I get for approaching the stupid forest. Got a frag and a break. Very good. And a disruption. Catch them? No. Too speedy. Still, that does take care of the lights problem, mostly. Here, would you just not? Good. Now that they're out of the way, let's try to slow... Well, this is going to be terrible, I think, because we'll pursue into a really not lovely place. These are both loose order, so we'll want to shift away and get to the cover of the elephants. The archers, I probably don't want to spend arrows unless his cavalry come into range. Warbands are basically immune. So I suspect he's going to run for cover and play for a draw. If he's down 15, he's lost his most of his lights. So a draw is probably at this point his best play. Next turn. See if he runs for cover or bursts out of cover. Still, huh? Okay. Guess we will waste the time then. Problem solved. So we can cover our lancers with our elephants here. Some light harassment. Not that it'll do any good, really. I hesitate to push these archers too far up until more support arrives. How good is that? Impact is good. Might actually be worth it. Let's give it a try. Damn. Well, that's too bad. These lancers will have to try to work around gradually then. Otherwise, I think we just need to... I suppose we could do that. It's tempting. Let's be tempted. Nope. Well, that works out. Next turn. The skirmishers will be back then. Oh, bad luck. Alright, I guess we're gonna have to try to ride to their rescue. You go away. Just go away. Oh, now what are the odds? Not so good. They hold on long enough that we can get a flank attack in. That would be fine. Held firm again. Okay. Odds are pretty good, although if we're lucky, they'll pursue somewhere even worse and we can set up a flank on them. In the meantime, we'll start getting ready to push these archers into position to harass his noble lancers. Do I care about doing this? Not really. It's just going to mean that they could get charged and caught. We want to keep this unit here so we can try to find a way to look around and fully see what's going on in there. Next turn. He's going to try to cover the flank. Too bad. We're going to lose that unit then. Well, let's try to lose this unit right away. Nope. Well, let's try. Well, Okay, so we'll threaten the flank of this unit. And these elephants will stay here to cover this area. These lancers will wheel about to cut off any attempt by this loose order warband to protect the flank of this unit. These elephants will stay out of cohesion check range. Good. Is there light spear and charge? Nope. Alright. Okay, this could get messy. Here we need to be ready to disengage. In fact, I think I will shuffle this way. Try to catch them as they run off. Still something in there, so we'll shuffle around. Okay, I think that ought to do for now. Next turn. Well, it's too bad that I didn't maneuver somewhere useful with this cavalry last turn. Now I feel obligated to try again. Do I throw? Let's actually shuffle right over here. If he charges, we flee into the woods. If he turns, we can hopefully catch them with javelins from behind. Right. Lock them in. Although, get the commander-in-chief on the elephants here. And go for that. Disrupt and maybe a frag? No. They're superiors, they held firm. Ah, that's better. So losing to shock troops is extra negative cohesion modifiers. I'm going to stay out of test range here, but I might turn my archers, but I won't fire yet because I want the stationary fire bonus until next turn. Then we'll start shooting. Maybe that's... I only have 5 turns of shooting. Well, with 6 turns left, maybe hold fire with this unit because it's only got 1 turn of full ammo fire left, and I want to maybe have a chance of causing a cohesion check at least. And you. Finally. What's in here? Nothing yet. Good. Next turn. Run, run, run. We evaded off map, but it's alright. Cracked and broken. And disrupted our Lancers, of course. Good. Alright, we maintain our lead despite the bad things that have happened. Sort of warband against Indian close fighters. No thank you. Run away. Right, now we're slightly disordered, unfortunately, so a charge is not a good idea. Damn. That is a good idea, though. We're gonna do that. Yeah. Okay. Good. Although, squishable archers are now in range. Let's try to auto-break or threaten auto-break on these light jabs. So if he keeps engaging with them, I will break them. In the meantime, unfortunately, this is going to get very awkward. But with 3 units facing off against 1, we should be able to threaten a flank of some kind, assuming we don't immediately collapse. I could flank charge here, which will break the zone of control lock, and then I could get behind this unit. But that would allow more units to push here, so I probably don't want that. Okay, so instead, what I'll do is have these light jabs move down, and they can either join in pelting these noble lancers or trying to disrupt these close order warband before contact. We're up 23, which is good. In fact, an auto break on the light jabs could do the job. But this is a lot of warbands, and this unit remains quite dangerous. So we're in a good spot. The question is, with only 5 turns left, do we have time to secure a win? And that I'm not feeling too sure about. Next turn. Could rally up a picked warband with a general. Oh, didn't move his skirmishers, I wonder why. Oh! Okay, so let me explain what happened there. Basically, units that have evaded off map count for half route percent. So I guess because we're playing with such tiny armies, a unit of light counts as 4 route percent. So when they came back, we gained 2 more. So yeah, that's a win. Bit of an unorthodox way of doing it, but it works. And in any case, within a turn or 2, we would have taken out this light jab for another 4%. So barring rallies, that would have been bad. Even without rallies, this was a difficult situation for definitely for him to attack, and I could have probably charged with my elephants, and these warbands being average and loose order and not generaled up, they probably would have disrupted or fragged. So I think it was just about over. Anyway, what happened? Well, to Carvan's credit, he came out to fight, but only partially, and I think maybe that was the problem. His plan, I think, kind of depended on me blundering more troops into this forest and getting them murdered, and luckily I only did that with 1 unit. So when that didn't happen, I think he should have committed, basically. If you're going to fight in the open, you need everyone there, right? If everyone had moved in at once, he still would have suffered pretty badly against the elephants. Although he got lucky and broke one in melee in which the odds were not in his favor. Maybe that would have happened more. More importantly, had he just engaged the elephants and gotten past them and brought along a little bit more cavalry. His lancers could have engaged my lancers, and if he could have got infantry in amongst these squishy archers and Indian close fighters, I think he would have had a chance. That being said, this ridge is very helpful to me. So maybe an alternative position for him would have been to make a stand on this hill. I would have eventually been able to make him come down with firepower lined up here, maybe. But when we did finally fight, it would be on even ground, and the rough and forest would have been a little bit awkward for my elephants to maneuver around, and his warbands are loose order, so the rough at least is no problem. Overall, probably a tough match for him just from this ridgeline. I don't know too much about the armies in general. I don't use the Indians much, and I don't play against warbands much in tournaments because they're kind of expensive, so people tend to shy away from them. So I haven't seen this matchup often enough to say if one side or the other had the advantage, although if pressed, I would say the Indians, just because the elephants are a bit hard for this kind of army to counter. Well, that's another game in the Little Wars Tourney, set up by Carvan, who just played in this game. So, a good game, and till next time.